Yo. Yo. So Gundam FMS team was surprisingly lighthearted. I didn't expect this show to be as tame as it was, considering it was an OVA. Yeah, there were tits and people did get killed, but it wasn't as extreme as I thought it'd be. This show is my first exposure and starting place for the universal century of the Gundam universe. So let's see what I've gotten myself into. Okay, so the story starts out with Shiro Amada, who is the commander of the Earth Federation's 8th MS team, traveling to Earth to take on his duties. A member of the team is in a battle in space, so he goes out to help. So then he ends up getting stranded in space with a woman named Aina Sahalin. She is a Zeon pilot. So they are forced to work together to escape. They eventually both escape to their respective sides, and Aina leaves Shiro with her watch. And they fall in love, I guess. That's kinda quick, but I guess love at first sight is still a thing in anime back in the 90s. So the next episode, Shiro pretty much meets his team, which consists of Karen, a badass soldier, Sanders, who has an interesting hairstyle, Mikkel, a timid young boy who just wants to be with his girlfriend Bibi, who definitely looks like she belongs in a 90s anime, and Elidor, a music freak who just wants to get his music out there. So these characters are all pretty likable. They are pretty diverse too. Each of them has their own quirks and doesn't feel out of place. Well, Elidor kind of feels like he belongs in Cowboy Bebop, but he still fits in the story too. So for their first mission as a team, Karen doesn't think that Shiro is capable of leading them, and Shiro's kind of hot-headed and gets stranded from everyone else during a battle. So everyone thinks Shiro is dead, but since he's the main character, he's fine and ends up killing the enemy he was hunting down. So Shiro then sees a topless girl and like, wait a minute. Oh, this is an OVA. Because her nipples are showing. And at that point I found out it was indeed an OVA. So Shiro gets captured by guerrillas, and the topless girl is named Kiki Rosita. The guerrillas and Shiro end up taking out a Zeon base together. In another episode we find out that Sanders is known as the Reaper because everyone else in his previous teams have been killed in battle except for him. So during a battle against the Opolis, this big-ass mole armor created by Aina's brother, Gideon, villain name, whatever, the 8th MS team fights the Opolis, with Sanders constantly screaming that he's not the Reaper. I expected Sanders himself to die in this battle, but nah, everyone comes back alive, and any turmoil or inner conflict Sanders has is gone. Granted, there are only 13 episodes, so I guess it's fine. The next episode's Mikkel and Elidor get captured by Zeon troops, and they freak the fuck out. This episode was pretty lighthearted, just from the comedic interactions between Elidor and Mikkel. Eventually they get saved, but Elidor ends up with a bunch of injuries, so he's sent off to heal, and his CD was sent to a radio station. Oh, at this point, Elidor pretty much falls in love with Karen, too. Because all Gundam shows need love, damn it. So after this, the group goes to the desert for another operation. Mikkel misses his GF, but bro, you're in the middle of a war. Just wait, son. Anyway, some drama happens between Mikkel, Kiki, and Shiro, but it gets resolved. Shiro gets separated after fighting with Aina, and they get stranded together, yet again, and their love develops. So eventually they get rescued, and Aina's loyalty to her crazy brother, Genius, whatever, pretty much causes her to ditch Shiro. So Shiro is under suspicion of being a traitor because of his Zeon girlfriend, and his team still respects him, despite being given the orders to keep him under watch. So eventually Kiki's hometown is under attack due to an accident caused by some Zeon soldiers, and all hell breaks loose. Kiki's father gets killed, and the Zeon pilots get wrecked by Shiro. Then the townspeople want blood and attempt to murder the Zeon soldiers. So Shiro is tired of this war shit and unnecessary killings. At this point I kinda see similarities to Kira Yamato. Shiro, unlike Kira, does something about it. So in the next battle, Shiro beats some Zeon dudes up without killing them. Gineas fucking kills a bunch of Zeon guys after the Opolis is completed, because he's fucking insane. Norris, who is like a father figure to Aina, ends up fighting Shiro, and Shiro barely wins. Holy shit, Norris was insanely god tier. The Opolis arises, and Aina attempts to talk to the Federation guys into just letting a civilian ship go free and stop fighting. So Gineas is like, go to hell, Aina, and fires a blast at the Federation. And the Federation is like, fuck that noise, and destroys the civilian ship. Aina is in despair and then is shot by her brother, but she's fine. Shiro arrives, and together with Aina they destroy the Opolis and kill her strange brother. The rest of Shiro's squad believes he's still alive and goes to check the wreckage, but find out that he's missing. So the last episode shows Mikkel and Kiki going to look for Shiro and Aina. Mikkel's stupid girlfriend broke up with him and ended up marrying someone else. At this point I decided to ship Mikkel with Kiki since they were both around the same age and had been traveling together. They find some Zeon kids who ended up getting identities from Shiro and Aina. This episode was pretty heartwarming since the kids have the same names as the 8th MS team, and it shows that Shiro loves his squad. Then the kids disappear, so maybe they weren't real after all. But no, they probably are. The very last scene is Mikkel and Kiki finding Shiro with a leg missing and a pregnant Aina living in a cabin in peace. So that ending is pretty dang happy. So that's the Gundam 8th MS team's plot. I must say, this Gundam series seems like the most realistic battle-wise. That was the most enjoyable part. There's no bullshit power-ups. Every battle has tactics and strategy and felt pretty real. The characters are all likable, but the way they act during wartime is very weird. It's a pretty good short series, and I think it's an acceptable starting place for me to get into the Universal Century stuff. Oh, and that soundtrack is fucking amazing. The opening and ending themes fit perfectly and are very enjoyable. But yeah, my only real complaints were the love story between Aina and Shiro. And, the characters are too happy and lighthearted during a time of war. I give this series 8 love letters out of 10.